Hey guys, this is week two for my development for VR target practice. As you can see, there's a lot of visual changes this week. This week was not very productive in terms of adding things. However, I was able, this it made the environment look a lot nicer. I've changed up the guns as well, but this was all very rough, like within an hour kind of work. If we compare these two models right here, this was the original one with no texture. Here's the new one with a new texture and animations. These animations are completely new. They were not done in Blender, which made it that much easier to work with, in my opinion. Not having to deal with importing problems between animating in the animation in Blender to Unity, all this stuff that I do not want to learn. Come on, controller. I've also adjusted the origin a little bit higher, so your trigger hand, it kind of matches to how you'd actually grip the controller. So now it's a bit easier to aim down sight as such. Granted, if you ever want to really do that. Here it's a little bit lower, as you can see. Um, Besides that, this week was mostly bug fixing. A lot of fixing with like how the guns would interact. We can now toss guns. Well, there goes that one. We can now toss guns. um, Arcade shooting now resets correctly, so you can play it as many times as you want. And in addition to that, because you can play as many times as you want, you now have a scoreboard to record how much you want to play, or all the different scores that you get. Unfortunately, this scoreboard is super rough, really simple, just an array of numbers that sorts through the different scores that you get, orders them based on how high they are. Nice and easy. It's not efficient, but it works. Um, Unfortunately, the scoreboard does not save data. That is next on the list. So if you would restart this game or reopen it, close and reopen it, you would get this again. You'd get Doge with 9,999 and then 1 and zeros again. You wouldn't get your scores back, unfortunately. So all the hours you put into this fabulous game would be for naught, unfortunately. Here we go. As soon as my controller stops freaking out. Come on. Come on. All right. Let's have a quick demonstration of the system. It's not going to be 30 seconds. Left it at 3 to 5 seconds for debugging, so I can just get through as fast as possible. That's 3 targets. Easy. Bam. 3 targets. In the right spot. Everything. And unfortunately, there's no system yet as to like for inputting names. Not too sure how I'll do that yet at all, but or not sure how I would implement a UI to type in your name on VR as of yet. That is also in the future. Um, Past that, that is pretty much all the work that has been done. It's a lot of smoothing out and polishing of this mode, which is finally working as I liked. Also, last week I remember promising that we would have teleportation and a menu going. Unfortunately, I was too lazy and did not get any work done in that department. So we still have this really meh kind of thing every time you press the top button. So yeah, not too impressive. Teleporting, started working on that, trying to figure out if I want to implement a system like that's in Valve's The Lab, where you'd be able to see where you're going, or if I just want to have like a point that you point to and then just there, and then you teleport there. Don't need like any of the play area um, location, like any visual location of where your play area will be. Um, so we'll see as that gets going, but that is definitely what we're going to do next week. Next week, plan is one, fixing it so that this 3D text doesn't phase through the controller. Damn. Um, Also, saving this on a local directory or saving your scores on a local directory, the menu, and teleportation. Those are my next three priorities that you guys should look forward to next week. In terms of the menu, I will definitely have a menu up and running. As to whether or not it'll have any functionality by next week, I'm not sure. And lastly, one that's very important is the reloading system. I remember talking about the reloading system ago, where you'd be able to pull out this magazine and pull it out and put a new one in and whatnot, and that would reload your gun just like it would in real life. That is actually turning out to be pretty hard for me to implement, being a new developer. So cannot guarantee any kind of progress in that sense. If anything, it will definitely be towards the end of this development cycle or the end of the summer before it will finally get implemented, or some form of it will get implemented. We'll see how this turns out. Uh, Anyways, thank you guys for always tuning in. If you have any feedback or any suggestions that you want to make to help me improve this game or any new functions that will make it more interesting, feel free to leave it in the comments in either YouTube or Facebook, or send me a text if you have my phone number. That'd be great. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.